right? We can learn from them, and we can also see what one thing we want to understand from you know our in our pursuit of the Most High is to look for Him in our studies and look at His character, like who He really truly is. Okay. Let me see. Share this right quick. Yeah, we want to make sure that we when we seek out the Most High, we want to seek Him wholeheartedly and with sincerity. But even in our reading, you don't want to miss what He's done. Which today I had a real tough time reading the Torah portion. I'll tell you about it in just a moment. Yahweh, we thank you. We praise you for being our Elohim. Yahweh, we love you. We're your children. We thank you for remembering the covenant that you made with our fathers, Abraham, and Yitzhak, and Yaakov. We thank you, Yahweh, that you're going to remember the land and that you're going to remember the covenant that you made with our fathers at Mount Sinai. That you've given us your words, Yahweh. And those words have been passed down through generation to generation to generation. And here we are today, pursuing you, Yahweh, because you have reached out your hand towards us and shown us loving kindness and mercy and tenderness. We thank you and we ask that you would continue to teach us, because without you, Yahweh, we would not know anything. We praise you. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Praise be to the living Elohim. Yeah, this was a tough reading for me this week. Just even today, it was really, really tough because I saw something that I think we, sometimes kind of skim over. Well, let's get right into it. So it begins in chapter number 13, verse number 17 is where the Torah portion begins. It's called Bashalach, which means, and when he sent, okay, to be sent out. And so when Pharaoh had let the people go, Elohim did not guide them. Oh, let me see. Does this have his name in it? Oh, yeah. Elohim did not guide them to the highway that goes through the land of the Philistine, because it was so close by that Elohim thought that the people, upon seeing war, right, they might change their minds and return to Egypt. This opening verse that we're reading in our Torah portion is pretty significant. It tells us what the Most High understands about his people. He knows that he didn't come right out and call them a bunch of cowards, right? He didn't say that about his people. He was mindful of where they were at the time and what their mindset was at that in particular moment. Okay. So what we don't want to miss is we don't want to miss how the Most High sees us. Okay. Elohim thought that the people, upon seeing war, milkama, that they might change their minds. May have a change of mind, and what they would want to do is they would want to return to Mizraim. The children of Israel did want to return. He knew what it was, and he's going to share that with us, that was their goal. They never really wanted to leave, everyone. Okay? It's like the Most High had to force everything. He had to force, it's like he's forcing himself in a strange way upon a people that don't necessarily want him, in a sense. They want him when they're crying, and they want to be delivered, but do they really, really want him is the question. And as we have seen over, all of our studies, is that they have never really truly wanted Yah to be their Elohim. They only wanted him out of convenience. They were only happy after he destroys their enemies. They only believe after he does something. They only are faithful to him when they're benefiting from it. He even told us that, you guys are going to go to the land, and you're going to think that it was some righteousness of your own, that's the reason why I brought you to this land, but it's not. It's because of the wickedness of these other people. So Yisrael is a different type of, they're a different type of people. And he understands their minds. He understands our minds. If he understood their minds, he understands our minds. which brings me to think that the people that I've been talking with over the last couple of days, that he understands their minds too. In their minds, they don't want to change. They don't want to change. They don't want to be wrong. They already have their mind set on what they want to do. They're bent on doing whatever that they want to do. And that is the mindset of people who have been enslaved. And this case is for people for hundreds of years. In our case, it's been thousands. It's been a long time. It's been a very long time for us. And the Most High, out of his grace and his mercy and his compassion, says, listen, I understand. I know what you're going to do. And so rather, Elohim led the people by the roundabout way, right? And the route and through the desert of the Sea of Suf. And this was on purpose. And the people of Israel went up from the land of Mizraim fully armed. They had the weaponry. They had the men. They had the weaponry. And he went out, and they went out fully armed. And but also too, they went out as an army. So what we understand right now is that the people of Israel were not necessarily prepared mentally for this. Prepared mentally to put your device on mute, please. To be prepared mentally for the challenges in which they were going to be faced with. Okay. We also realize too and understand that Moshe, which is important, verse number 19, Moshe took the bones of Yosef with him. Yosef had made the people of Israel, which is his brothers, swear an oath that he said, Elohim will certainly remember you. And you are to carry my bones up with you away from here. So he's literally doing the same thing, just in a different way, about wanting to leave and wanting to get out of there. And he wanted his bones to be taken back out of there and be brought to the land. So prophetically, Joseph was not only a dreamer, but he was a prophet, because he makes a declaration here too, that the Most High will come and he will remember you. So the children of Israel knew this. They just didn't know, when, right? Because that's always the question. It's always about when. And so, I think that's the question all of us ask. Well, when is Yahweh going to remember us? When is he going to do what he's going to do for us? When is he going to take the shackles off of our minds and off of they're not on our necks, they're on our minds. Okay. That's how we're being held captive. We're being held captive with some chains that you can't see. And that's the difficulty, especially for people who believe that they're free and they're not free. People who actually believe that what they think and what they understand about, the scriptures is totally erroneous and is misinformed. I can't begin to tell you how many people I have to correct, okay, about certain things about the text that they're reading that's completely out of place. They want to believe that there's somebody else. This is what these people want, okay? So let me encourage you tonight to let you know that the Most High has remembered us. Somebody tell me, how do you think the Most High has remembered you? What has he done? How has he remembered us?
He opened our eyes to see the truth, to know the truth, our minds to know the truth.
Yeah. And why did he do it?
Because he Zakared us.
He's a car. And also, too, everything that he does, everyone, is based on his love. Let's don't forget that. Let's don't forget that the Most High said, I loved your ancestors, Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, and I remembered the covenant that I have with them. Because I swore to them that I would always remember you. I'm always going to remember you. Right? I remember you when you do wrong, but I also remember when you do right. I know that you don't have capacity. I know that you don't fully understand everything, but what I'm looking for you is, I'm looking for you to remember me now. That's how it goes. I'll remember you and you remember me. You remember the God of your fathers. That's why he's walking us through about this Torah that you're in. He's walking us through these stories to let you know how what he has done and how he sees us and what he understands and what he wants us to understand. I mean, for him to let us know, just think about this, is that the Most High says that He thought that the people, upon seeing war, they might change their minds. So what does he do? What does he do when he finds out that they're going to change their minds? What does he do?
He sends them another route.
Thank you. I send you on a different route. You're still going to get to the same destination, but you're going to go on a different route. So Yah is thinking about them. Okay. He's actively thinking about them. He's actually caring enough about how they feel. Okay. And even in the midst of their doubt and their uncertainty, they still, have this unbelief in him, and they still want to return. They still want to be slaves. He's still thinking about them the whole time that they're not even considering him. Put your device on mute. Thank you. Question is, did it make Moshe unclean to carry the bones of Yosef away from Mitzrayim? Absolutely. Absolutely. You guys still with me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it made him unclean. Anytime you touch any dead bones or any bones from any dead body, you're unclean. Now, how did the Most High deal with Moshe? How did he deal with him in that sense? He was unclean, but the Most High, makes way and provision. I don't know how he went through the process of being clean from that, except for when he inaugurated the priests and so forth and so on. But again, he's anointed by the Most High. I don't know, what the details of that is, but I do know if you touch any bones from anything, especially of a human being, that you're unclean according to the Torah. Was that known at that time? That's the question. Was that given as part of the Torah? Like, you can't, did he know that? No, he didn't. But does it mean that because he didn't know it that he's not guilty? No. Why? Somebody tell me. If he did something that was wrong and he's guilty, is he guilty?
Yes.
Yeah. And how do we know that, Akoti?
It's stated in the word that even if you don't know that what you're doing is wrong, you're still going to be held responsible for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's found in the book of Leviticus, and I believe it's in chapter number 4 and 5. Let me see. Yeah. It's in chapter number 4. If anybody sins against any of the commandments of the Most High inadvertently on an accident, they're still guilty, even if they didn't know that they were guilty. And that's something that's remarkable about the Most High. He wants us to know when you're guilty, though. That's why he brings it to our attention. And he wants to let us know that there is a separation between him and everything else. That's the only reason why he's letting us know. Our sins, the sins that you and I do to each other, it doesn't affect him directly. It affects you and I, okay? The sins that we commit against him, right, is if you commit a sin against the Most High deliberately, like you're bent on it, he says that I'm going to, no one can intercede. There won't be no mediator between you and Elohim. You're going to be held responsible. So when I mention in Exodus, because you and I are going to start going over we're going to start going over these laws so you can understand, like they said that, they're done away with and you can't keep them. And I'm going to show you that that's not true. The Most High says that you shouldn't mention the name of another God. Can you do that?
No.
Right. What I'm saying is, do you have the capacity where you could stop yourself from mentioning the name of another God? Can't you?
Yes, we can do that.
Hey, you could do that. Yah says if you and I say anything about him that's not true, he says, I'm going to hold you responsible. And that's in the 10 words. That if you spoke anything against me that wasn't accurate and it wasn't true, I'm going to hold you responsible. Verse number 20, they traveled from Sukkot and they set up camp in Etam at the edge of the desert. And Yahweh went ahead of them in a column of a cloud during the daytime to lead them on their way. This is the first time that this is mentioned about this cloud. Okay, it's called an anon. It's a column of a cloud during the daytime, and to lead them on their way, and at night a column of fire of ash to give them light at night. Thus they could travel both by day and night. So we see that even in the nighttime, the Most High may have had them traveling as they were going through the night. Now, the question is how bright was that fire? It was a column. How bright do you think? You think it was a little torch? What do you think it was like?
I think it was a brilliant fire that made the night look like day.
Yes. Did you guys understand that? That's beautiful what you just said. It made the night look like day. And we're going to see that in chapter number 14. And neither the column of the cloud by day nor night, or the column of fire at night, went away from in front of the people. So he was leading them from in front. Okay. And that's very important for us to understand. Yah is leading us from and being ahead of us. He's not behind us. He's in front of us. What you're going to find in chapter number 14, that he's going to tell you that column is being used to give light, but also to direct. So he's leading us like a shepherd, his flock. That's when it talks about he's led us like a shepherd. He's leading the people to where he wants them to go. Verse number 14, and Yahweh said to Moshe, tell the people of Israel, and this is a command, to turn around and set up camp in front of the Hakoroth, between Migdal and the sea, in front of Baal Zephon, and camp outside, opposite it by the sea. Then Pharaoh will say that the people of Israel are wandering aimlessly in the countryside. The desert has closed in on them. I will make Pharaoh so hard-hearted that he will pursue them. Thus I will win glory, which is kavod, for myself, and at the expense of Pharaoh and all his army. And the Egyptians will realize that I am Yahweh. And again, going back to our teachings, I am Yahweh is the phrase that's used all the time. And that is Ani. I am Ani Yahweh. And he mentions this because this is literally his signature. Ani Yahweh. So I'm the one who's brought you out. I'm the one who's going to destroy your enemies. I'm the one. I don't only want you to know it, but I want them to know it too. And it's not just for their sake. It's to win me glory. I want the kavod. And as you notice, we went over kavod before. Do anyone remember what kavod means? What does kavod mean besides glory? It's the weightiness. Right? It's weighty. Go ahead.
I was just guessing. I just said light, a weighty light.
Yes. Is glory is to bring brilliance to the Most High. It's a weightiness. It's to say that the heaviness of who he is, the magnanimity of him, how extremely huge he is. Okay. And so that's the goal. The goal is to bring Yahweh glory. That's the reason why he created us, because he says, I will show my glory, right? I'm going to give my glory through them. Okay. But he also tells us that he's going to receive glory from us as being his people. I've actually made you as a people for me to bring glory to me. Okay. So what is he saying? What is he saying? What do you think he's saying?
That's our purpose, to glorify him.
Uh-huh. But listen what he says. I think it's in 13. He says this, and I want to show you something. I don't know if it would upset some people, but it's the truth. Okay, here it is. I'm gonna do a pit stop right quick and bring you over to Jeremiah. Let's see. I want you to get this. I want you to keep this in your mind. All right. So I'm gonna go to Jeremiah right quick, and you can write this down for your records, because you need to remember this. You have to remember this, because this is what it tells you what your mission is. Okay. Your mission is Let's start verse number 11. So Jeremiah 13 and verse number 11 says this: just as a loincloth clings to a man's body, I made the whole house. Okay, this is what I've done. I've made the whole house of Yisrael and the whole house of Yehuda cling to me, says Yahweh, so that they could be my people, building me a name and becoming for me a source of praise and honor. Okay, so according to this, you and I have to do something first. What's the first thing, according to what I just read? What's the first thing that he's saying that we have to do? I'll erase all the ink so you can tell me what's the first thing he said why I made them. What's the first thing I made them for?
Cling to him.
Thank you. To cling to me. That word cling is called davak, and davak means like glue. I want you to stick to me. Okay, that's what I want you to do. That's number one. You got to cling to me. Remember, Moses said the only reason why you're alive today is because you cling to Yahweh. And that's in Deuteronomy chapter number 4, I think, or chapter number 3. He says that you cling to him. That's the only reason why you're alive, is because you cling to the Most High. So that's number one. He says, so that they could be my people. So once you and I come to him and we cling to him, he says, so they can be my people. And the purpose of us becoming his people is to do what?
Build a name, build him a name.
We're going to build him a name. And where are we going to build that name at? In the where? Where are we supposed to build that name?
The land?
Yeah, but in the world. You're going to build me a name. Okay. So when I first came and I got you out of Mizraim, what was I doing?
He was causing them to know who he is.
I'll call you so they would know that I need what? I need Yahweh, right? Because that's what it is. So what I'm using you guys for is so everybody can know this. So in the process of me building my name, what has to happen? List some of the things that has to happen for my name to be known through you.
Obey his mitzvah.
Yeah, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some stuff. So what's some of the stuff I've showed you that I've done so far to build myself a name for your cause? So what have I done?
He killed Paro and his army.
Number one, so far, we haven't got there yet, but we're getting there. He's killed the firstborn of man and animal. Okay. I've destroyed a whole entire nation. I hardened that man's heart because that's who he was. I used what he was and who he is in order to bring about what I wanted to bring about. Okay. That's who he was. He was never going to let you go. He had no intention of ever letting you go. So I destroyed his fields. I destroyed his people. I destroyed his water supply. I destroyed his families. I destroyed his houses. I destroyed everything. The only thing that was left was him and his army and his people. So this is the last finale. But this is the reason why I chose you, is to build myself a name. Because after I do all the things that I'm going to do, like you're going to see in chapter number 15, after I do those things, you're going to praise and honor me. Because that's the reason why I made you. I made you to be what? What does because mean? Or in the Hebrew?
Yeah, gold.
Yaakov, you think it's on accident that he's named this? You
No,
think it was on accident he was grabbing the heel of his brother?
no.
What is Yah trying to tell us? He's trying to tell us everything that I'm about to do and everything I've ever done is because of you. Because I love you. I'm going to use you to build a name for me. My name is being built based on what I do for you because you're in positions that cause me to remember you. So I know even when you go against me, and I have to kill off a lot of your ancestors and scatter you to the four ends of the world, I know that I'm going to remember you because I said I would. But it's all because of you. See? So you have a designation to build my name. And you're not going to build it just because, you know, you guys are calling out to me and other people are not, you know, they're not paying attention. Okay. What I got to do is I got to do everything I've ever done before to show the world who I am through you. You see? So this is the reason why the Most High has selected us. You and I are selected in order to be a source of praise and honor to the Most High because of everything that he has done and everything that he is going to do and everything in between. So your past, your present where you are, and your future is in his hands. They're in his hands, okay? So I made you for that. So that's a great responsibility. So you're locked in, okay? You're locked into the Most High, and it's for that reason. So when we read here about what he's going to do and what he's doing and how he's making these moves, he's considering that Israel's, you know, they don't have the right mind for war. Even though they're armed, they're still not mentally prepared. But also, too, I want to show them something, okay, which he wants to show us tonight, okay? He says this, I'm going to make him hard-hearted. He's going to pursue them, and I will win glory, kavod, for myself at the expense of Paro and his army. And the Egyptians will realize that at last, that I am Ani Yahweh. The people did as ordered. So when the king of Mitzrayim, and guess what? Moshe didn't share this information with them. He didn't. He just told them go camp where Yah says go camp. Okay. So the Most High strategically put him there in a place that it makes it appear that they're confused. Okay. And they're stuck and they can't get out. He put them there on purpose. So when the king of Egypt was told that the people fled, Pharaoh and his servants had a change of heart toward the people. They said, what have we done? Letting Israel stop being our slaves. They weren't even thinking about everyone who just died. They're not thinking about all the plagues. They're not thinking about nothing. They're bent on making the children of Israel their slaves. So he prepared his chariots and took his people with him. He took 600 first quality chariots as well as all the other chariots in Mitzrayim, along with all their commanders. Yahweh made Pharaoh hard-hearted, and he pursued the people of Israel as they left boldly. That word pursue right here in the Hebrew also has the idea of persecute. So someone, you know, if you're being persecuted, you're actually being pursued. And what do I mean by that? Those of us who have been sued before, what does it mean to be persecuted? What are they doing?
Accusing.
Yeah, they are pursuing you. I don't know, can't tell you how long I've been chased by people. A couple of years ago, I was being chased. I was being chased by people. I'm talking for millions of dollars. Okay. And the Most High delivered me. But being pursued means to be persecuted. And the way that the court system does it is through what they call persecution. They're still in pursuit of you. Okay. That's what pursuit means, to persecute. So the Egyptians went after them, all their horses, chariots, with their cavalry and army, and overtook them as they encamped by the sea by Hakoroth, in front of Baal Zephon. I didn't get a chance to really look at this that much, but I know Baal is the Lord of something. But this one here is called the Lord of the winter. Okay, and it may refer to one of their gods. Okay, this word P right here has to do with the mouth, right? So the mouth of something of Hakoreth, I don't know what that is, but I know for sure that this one right here had to do with something of their gods. So the Most High, you know, he's bringing them to a place. Yes, Pam. Yes, Akoti. Pam, you have your hand
Mouth
raised.
of freedom. I'm sorry, I was on mute. The mouth of freedom is what I found in my study.
Oh, okay. There you go. Wow. Okay. So Hakaroth means the mouth of freedom. This right here is the Lord of the winter. So Yah's giving clues. Okay, because he's about to give them some freedom. Praise Yah. So Paro approached, and the people of Israel looked and they saw the Egyptians right there coming after them, and in great fear, the people of Israel cried out to the Most High. Okay, I want you to remember, in great fear, the people of Israel cried out to the Most High. And said Moshe to them, now you need to really listen to this. And said to Moshe, was it because there wasn't enough graves in Mizraim that you brought us out to die in the desert? Why have you done this to us, bringing us out to Egypt, bringing us out of Egypt? Didn't we tell you in Egypt to let us alone? And this word right here means to cease from talking to us. Cease from us. Don't speak. Don't. We don't want to hear no words from you. Okay. We'll just go on being slaves for the Egyptians. Okay. And the reason why is because they said it would be better for us to be the Egyptian slaves than to die in the wilderness. Or here they have desert, but it's the wilderness. And this word desert is called Ba Midbar. What do you guys know about the word Ba Midbar?
Means numbers.
Yeah, that's where he gives the numbers, but it really means in the wilderness. Okay, so this is something that the Most High, wilderness, this is where the Most High wants us to see something, because they're going to keep talking about the wilderness. If you notice, the Most High had them camp by the wilderness. He didn't take them there. He said, okay, you're going to camp by it. Then they said, well, if we go to the wilderness, we're going to die. So Yah is giving us an insight on how they were feeling when they were in Mitzrayim. They never wanted to go to the wilderness. So somebody tell me why, according to this text that we just read, why didn't they want to go to the wilderness?
Because it's judgment. They have to now leave everything behind.
And they have to, that's a great point. So what it is that if you're bringing us to the desert or the wilderness, this place is completely empty. So you're right. We got to leave everything behind and there's nothing to go to. So question is there any houses?
No, not in the wilderness.
Okay. How about water supply?
Nope. Nope.
How about fruits and vegetables?
None of that.
There's nothing out there except for Yah. So in their thinking, because remember he said they don't want to go to war. I know how these people are. Okay. They don't want to go. They're not prepared. You know why? Because they got the wilderness on their mind. They're thinking about the wilderness. They're thinking about survival. They're not thinking about fighting nobody. They want to know where's our next what? Where's our next meal coming from? They left with the little, they didn't even have a loaf of bread. They had matzah. You see? That's all they had. They might have some berries and stuff like that, but they had to move quick and fast. So what they left with was, gold and silver and stuff like that, but they didn't have the stuff to sustain them. But that's the reason why Yah keeps telling us about this wilderness. He's painting a picture for us to see what's going on and what he's doing exactly right now. So they said, didn't we tell you to leave us alone? Didn't we tell you to cease from us? We don't hear nothing you have to say, because we would rather be a slave than to go out into the wilderness. See, they're mentioning this word here, to die, because that's the pretext, because, they know if they're out there and there's nothing, that they're going to die. So they're afraid of what? What are they really afraid of?
Death.
They're afraid of death. They're afraid that they won't be able to survive. So now we see something. So what is the Most High after? Why is he? When I told you he's forcing himself in the life of people that don't want him. What does he want from these people?
Trust and to
He
rely on him.
wants them to trust him. So it's about developing a relationship. I don't know if you remember when I taught this. I think it was last Shabbat when I said, you don't have a relationship if you don't have any trust. You got to have trust. You have to trust in order for the relationship to work. You see, because the Most High wants a relationship. So he's looking for, I'm going to put you in position. So what he's doing is he's strategically moving them into positions in order for them to learn how to trust him. Now, you and I would say, well, that's just for them. I want to say to you tonight that Yah puts us in positions that we're in right now. I'm not preaching to you. I'm teaching us something. That I'm going to put you in a position in your life where you are right now, because I don't change. I want you to be in a place where you're going to have to be dependent on me. I don't want you to have to think that you can do it on your own, because that's not the relationship. That's not the relationship as a husband and wife. The husband and wife is, you got to trust me. You have to believe what I'm saying to you. All right. And then, we're going, well, I don't see anything. I don't know. You want me to leave everything? Yeah. Who in our family, in terms of the children of Israel, before the children of Israel, what did Abraham do?
He left his mother and father.
He left his mother and father's house. He left his family. He left his land. He left everything and just got up and he went to where Yahweh told him. And this because he trusts the Most High. I didn't say he believed him. I said he trusts him. You see? Because belief was given to him. He trusts the Most High. And we show our trust by our response to the request that the Most High asked. If he says, Lek Lekah, he got up in Lek Lekah. And that was a test within itself to see if you're willing to follow what I said, to go where I told you. You don't always have to have a roadmap in front of you. I don't have to hand you evidences and stuff. I don't have to show you a big pot of gold and a refrigerator out in the desert for you. Is that the only way you're going to come to me? Is if you know that there's something there waiting for you? You see? So Yah could have easily brought the children of Israel into this other place, but he didn't. He had to test them to find out if they're worthy of what he's about to give them. Because the relationship, the promise that he made to our father was based on trust. And it was based on a relationship that they had. He said, oh, now I know that you'll do what I told you. I know I can ask you to do something, you're going to do it. See? Because you trust me. That's what it is. He didn't go up to the mountain to bring Yitzchak up there because he had faith in God. It's because he trusts what the Most High said. Because Yah has given him evidences along the way. You told me I was going to have a son. Did he have a son? Woo, somebody better hear what I'm saying. He said, you're going to have a son one day. He said, well, how am I going to know? Did he have a son? Yes, he did. So did Yah give him what he said he was going to give him? Yes, he did. Yah has given him examples and delivered him out of Mizraim. He's blessed him with cattle and gold and silver. He's done a lot of great things for Abraham. And Yah has done this in the lives of our fathers. It hasn't been on, hey, just have faith. No, it's trust that the Most High is after. That's what he's after. So what are some of the things that the Most High have done for the children of Israel before he took them out? What did he do? What did he show them?
When the plagues were going on, he made a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
That's it. I made a distinction. You know, you guys had light and everybody else had darkness. Your cattle didn't get sick and die. Theirs did. I've shown you stuff. I give you signs all the time. Did you not just leave and the people were there, they lost their firstborn, but you didn't? So what is the Most High saying? It's not like I'm asking you to follow me blindly. I'm asking you to trust me based upon the evidences that you've already seen. But then you might say, well, what do you mean? What is he saying? What do you know? What's the evidence of Yah in your life? Well, here's the number one evidence. He's giving you the ability to remember his name. See, it took them plagues to get to the and death for them to get Ani Yahweh. For you, it didn't take that. He remembered you. You understand? He gave you his name. That's the starting point, his name. So that's what the Most High has done. So yeah, they don't want to leave. They don't want to go anywhere. They just want to rather be slaves because they are afraid of having, like Dr. Ureta says, to go somewhere was completely empty. They're afraid of death. What they want is answers, and they want a guarantee. Yeah, I was not looking for people like that. Okay. Moshe answered the people, stop being so fearful. Listen what he says. Remain steady, meaning cause yourselves to be steady. That's a Hithpael. And you will see with what? With your eyes, how Yahweh is going to save you. You know what's interesting? This word right here in the Hebrew, and I'll show it to you in the Hebrew language. So you'll see like, oh, okay, he's not making this up. What verse is that? What verse was that in? 13. 14:13. 14:13. We can remember that. Just remember 13:14 and reverse it. 14:13. And this is what people don't know. This is what Yah is going to show them. He said, you're going to see it. 13. Here it is. And he said, Moshe to the people, all. That means not don't be afraid now. It means not right now. Don't be tera'u, don't be afraid, stand still. You know, here's that Hithpael. And you will see. With what? With your eyes. And what does he say right here? Let me just make it bigger so we can see it. So you can see, and he points you directly to this. And this is what I'm pointing you to. This is what I want you to see with your eyes. And this is a verb. I want you to take it action, and I want to point that action directly to what I want you to see. So according to this, what is this that he says that I want you to see?
The salvation.
Yeah. Well, what's the name? Let's say it together. Yeah. They got it in a grammatical form. I'll click on it for us right quick. It'll break down the letters for us. What do I want you to see?
Yeshua.
I want you to see Yeshua. Oh, that must be the Christian's Savior. Yah's going to show us with our eyes what salvation looks like. Okay, so let me show it to you. He's going to show you what salvation looks like. Okay, I just want you to know that that's the word that he uses there. That's where I want to direct your attention, because he's going to tell you what salvation is. Verse number 14. He says, Yahweh will do battle for you. And according to what we read so far in 13, the Most High turned them away because they weren't ready to do what?
Battle.
They were not willing to go to war. They're not willing to go to fight. Okay, called milkama. They're not willing to do this. So salvation, okay, the salvation to Yeshua for you means that Yah has to do battle for you. That's what this salvation is about. It's about a battle. He says, just calm yourselves down. That means be quiet and just buckle down. Yahweh asked Moshe, why are you crying to me? This is an interesting question. Tell the people of Israel to go forward. So the question is why is Moshe crying out to Yah? Somebody tell me, why is he crying out to Yah?
He's tired of hearing all those people complain.
Yeah, he is. But this is showing something about his character. What do you see in his character by him crying out? What is he becoming like? Who is he acting like right now? If he's crying out, who is he acting like? Because remember, the people saw and they began to what? Cry out. So why is Moshe, that Most High asked, why are you crying? So what is the Yahweh saying to Moshe? He's telling him, you stop being like them. You're the leader. You just sat up here and told the people to stop being so fearful. Then why are you asking me, or why are you crying to me after you just gave them this speech? Right? Stop being so fearful. Remain steady, and you will see Yahweh is going to save you. He will do it today. Today you have seen the Egyptians, but you'll never see them again. But now all of a sudden you turn around and you're crying to me after you just said this? Moshe is becoming like the people. And the Most High is letting him know that you're not like the people. I need a person who's going to be a leader over the people. A leader over the people cannot think or act like the people. They can empathize with the people. They can understand the people. They can try to help the people, but they have to be stronger than the people. That's why they're the leader. So in this case right here, you see a weakness about Moshe again. The Most High is showing us something about him. Okay? That you're crying out to me. You shouldn't be crying out to me, especially when you just told them what you just told them. You told them to stop being fearful. So why are you now crying? Why are you, if you understood and you had so much faith about what you just said and so much trust, how are you trusting me by telling them stop being fearful, but then you turn around and cry to me? And you and I can learn from this. How can you and I go and tell somebody something about Yah and we ourselves don't believe it for ourselves? If we haven't demonstrated that we trust him, then how could we tell somebody else to trust him? I remember my mother when she was alive, and she said, I've been praying for such and such who's sick, and I hope that she gets better. I'm praying that the, LORD would help her. I said, that's interesting. You're sick right now. Why aren't you praying for yourself? How could you pray for somebody and ask Yah to heal them, and you're not healed? You see? So the very thing that we're asking for, the very thing that we're going out and we're saying, our actions have to be backed up by the things that we say. And right here, he's showing you that he's not doing so. He's not being a real good leader right here. He's not really putting his trust in Yah. See? So crying to Yah and praying to Yah doesn't always mean that you're trusting him. That's a false way of thinking. Trusting is not always crying to Yah. Trusting Yah is just telling the people to move forward. And I think I want to end the study with that idea. This is about, for us, just like it was for them, it's about trusting Yah, coming to trust him, and what? Moving forward. Going forward in Yah with confidence. See? The idea behind not being fearful, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be faced with opposition. It doesn't mean we're not going to be faced with challenges. It doesn't mean that that threat doesn't exist, because it does. There's always a threat that exists. But in that time of uncertainty, in that time of stress, in that time of fear and trembling, that time of, being scared and being shaken, you and I have to have such a relationship with the Most High, then you and I can trust him and know that, you know what, he got my back. He's demonstrated it before. See? So what we see is we don't see a whole bunch of crybabies in a sense. We see a whole bunch of people who really don't understand, because the gods that they pray to before this, everyone, were not answering their prayers. You see? So they would cry out to the gods that they were in Egypt for 215 years or even more, longer than that. They were there for 430 years. You don't think they were ever contaminated with that type of mindset and that type of thinking? The more you hang around somebody, the more you become like them. So Yah is breaking this from them, you see? And so in that relationship, People are going to have to be broken. And this is the reason why he's bringing us to the wilderness. And they instinctively, like you said, Dr. Red, they knew that when we go out here, there's going to be a change. There's definitely going to be a change. You see? Because remember, the book of Ezekiel tells us the Most High told them to get rid of their gods. That's something that hasn't been outlined here in our reading, but we know in Ezekiel that he says, I told them that. Okay. And when you're depending on a God that doesn't answer you, and that's an insult to the Most High. That's the reason why he said in Ezekiel 20, they're trying to come and consult me, but you can't consult me because you're doing exactly the same thing that your ancestors did. Yah's making the point that there's nobody else but me. That's my signature. I am Yahweh. I'm the one who delivered you. Okay. So we can have the best words. We can have the best intentions for everyone. We can tell them to stop being fearful. We can tell them to be steady and all this and cause yourself to do this and have all this confidence in that and be able to preach to other people and tell them things. But we ourselves in the backdrop or in the background, we don't really trust Yah. So what he's looking for is absolute transparency. Yah doesn't, he knows that, as we saw in chapter number 13, did he know that they were afraid? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. So what was his intention? His intention is to deliver them. His intention is to show them salvation. Last point. Salvation for Yisrael, this Yeshua right here, is for you to never see your enemy ever again. So Christians say that your enemy is sin. And if Christ had died for you, Yeshua had died for you, like they said he did, then why are you still dealing with your enemy? Why are you still oppressed? Why are you still dealing with that so-called inner working of making bad decisions? Or why is people still killing each other? Why are people still robbing each other? Why are the Christians one of the most unforgiving people in the world? When Yah talks about saving someone, he's talking about absolute deliverance. Okay? And you will never see them again. Okay? So Yah's putting out the death threat. I'm about to take care of your enemies today, and you'll never see them again. Everyone who's giving you a hard time, I'm about to do battle for you. But when I do battle for you, I need you to trust me. And the way that you trust me is by what? Going forward.
Physical deliverance.
That's absolutely right. It is a physical deliverance. It's not an imaginary spiritual deliverance. This is not where I mean, even a chia pet, you put the seeds in there, you got to put water on it. Am I right? That's a reality. See? So that's your lesson for tonight. We have to move forward. We have to trust Yah. Yah already knows what we're going to be faced with. And he puts us in a position knowing what we're going to be faced with. So he could put us in a position to find out whether or not whether or not you trust him. I'm laughing because this is like hitting me at home. I'm getting hit hard. I'm getting hit so hard. I'm laughing because he's showing me what my problem is. Okay. I'm a Torah teacher. I'm a Hebrew teacher. I do all these things, but I keep asking Yah, why are you doing this to me? Certain things are happening in my life. Why? Shouldn't I be here? Should I be doing this? Should I do this? Should I do that? I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do that. I put you in a position because the ultimate goal, Mr. Little David, is for you to understand that any position that you are in is to bring me praise and to bring me glory. Woo! If I set you up the highest place on the face of this earth, it's only for you to bring me praise and to bring me honor. If I bring you down to the lowest part of your life, it's to give me praise and to bring me honor. No matter what, you need to be okay with that. Whether you're doing good or bad is for the praise of the Most High. And this is what Job didn't understand. He came to understand it. And that's what Yah is trying to teach us. Does anyone have any questions? I'm blown away. Hallelujah. I'm blown away. All right. Later on this week, we're going to continue our study if Yahweh will be willing. And may Yahweh continue to bless you in your understanding and your learning. And may you have a wonderful evening, and praise Yah for your attendance tonight. And definitely, Yah is moving in our lives in a very special and a very mighty way. All praise and appreciation and gratitude be given to the only living Elohim. And don't forget tonight to say your Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna let you hold on for just a moment. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this right quick. Let's find that. All right. Okay. All right. Let's see. Here you go. All right. Once you guys go, I got 3 minutes. I'm on time. Praise Yah. Thank you for your time. Here. What's wrong with this? Okay, let's see. Put it back. Okay, you're tripping, right? Every time. All right, your screen is loading. Okay. It's loading. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
All right. Can you still see my screen?
No.
Oh boy. All right. Let's just do it this way since it's acting very weird. I don't know why it does that. All right. Hold on a second right here. Come on. Silly little rabbit. Tricks are for kids. All right. I'm just going to stay with this part of the screen. It's loading. Now you can see it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it says, Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Akkad. Uahavta et Yahweh Eloheka. Bakol levaf veka, uvakol nafshika, uvakol meodika. That is to say, listen, Israel, and obey. Yahweh, our Elohim, Yahweh is one. And you are to love Yahweh with all our Eloheka, with all of your mind, okay? And with all of your soul, and with all of your resources, all of who you are. That's what we're commanded to say to the Most High in the morning and in the evening. So wake up to this, take a screenshot of it and think about it and meditate upon it. And then it would always remind you what our responsibility is to our Elohim. And that is to love him with everything. Bakal means a mind that's been tamed, not some wild mind, not some mind that's not willing to listen, but the mind that has been put under its subjection. Praise be to the living Elohim. So yes, twice a day. That's what we're going to be doing. All right. So I just wanted to share that with you. Now you have your opportunity. I want you to think about that. Praise be Yah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.